Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And we want to start with a live look at a scene of a school bus accident. This is happening on the south side. This is on South Bexar County Road, the intersection of Highway 281 South and Martinez-Lozoya.
Bexar County Sheriff's deputies tell us that about 40 kids were inside the bus at the time of the crash, but no one was hurt. Investigators believe the wet roads are to blame for the crash. Deputies are reminding drivers to be careful as they head out on the roads this morning.
As you can see, a little fog still out there, so got to be careful out there. It's messy this morning.
Going to be our situation, I think, for the next several days. So please pack your patience and be careful.
Maybe your robot can drive for you.
Well, David, you probably know this about me. The two things that scare me the most, sharks and artificial intelligence taking over the world.
Well, this one's going to really scare you then.
This is really a little bit odd and mind-bending. Scientists use stem cells from frogs to build the first ever living robot, not metal machinery robot, living, breathing, created robots.
One of the most successful creations, 2 stumpy legs that propel it along on its chest. Another has a hole in the middle that researchers turned into a pouch so it could shimmy around with miniature payload.
All right, so these are entirely new life forms. They've never existed before on Earth. They are living, programmable organisms. So they're saying they're getting rid of the metal and plastic for their strength and durability. That's what people used to use those for, or I say used to, well, they use them for robots, right? But they see benefits of making robots from biological tissues because when damaged, living robots can heal their wounds. That sounds like a bad idea.
So they think these little robots can clean up microplastic pollution in the oceans, locate and digest toxic materials, and deliver drugs in the body or remove plaque from artery walls. Do you want a little frog running around in your arteries, cleaning them up?
I guess, maybe. I don't know, but what if it takes over your whole body? They say once their task is done, they fall apart, just like natural organisms decay when they die, if they die, right? This is very scary stuff. They behave like little miniature engines that drive robots along their energy till their energy reserves run out. They have enough fuel inside of these cells for them to survive a week to 10 days before keeling over.
The aim is to understand the software of life.
They're called xenobots, by the way, if you're interested in knowing about that. They're very small, ultimately.
Yeah, they're only 1 millimeter, so you can't even really.
Yeah, but did you read this part? Ultimately, they plan to make them to scale.
Yeah, to scale.
They're going to be living, breathing robots.
This is getting
They
fun.
said it is going, they're actually putting it out there. They want discussions. They realize there are moral implications to it, but but here's one thing. They're less concerned about them posing any threat to humankind because if you watch the video, it's hard to fear these things will take over anytime soon.
Yeah. Put them in your body and they start running around in there. They're not going to take over your brain. Come on. What if one slips and ends up somewhere where it's not supposed to be?
That's valid.
Thank you. That's what I'm worried about.
Let's take a look at your rundown.
Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are embroiled in a tense he said, she said, offering conflicting accounts on what Sanders said about whether a woman could win the White House in 2020.
A couple of delivery drivers arrived at this firehouse sub. It looks like just in time to stop a burglary. Police believe the burglars got in through the roof.
The cheating scandal rocking Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros have fired their manager and their general manager.
It comes after an investigation found the Astros were stealing signs from rival teams.
In Australia, a thick haze prevalent in Melbourne as smoke from the bushfires encompass the entire city. A chief health officer says that the air quality in Melbourne is currently, quote, the worst in the world.
Alamo Draft House here at home is teaming up with the local zoo to raise money for their Australia Wildlife Fund. Buying tickets to Doolittle Bad Boys for Life or their horror show screening of Howling 3 can add a donation to their ticket either online or in person.
The growing backlash over the Oscar nominations.
Yeah, the list of prospective winners is once again being criticized for its lack of diversity. Fans and stars say they're shocked and dismayed over who did not make the list.
A Spanish company is using 3D printers to create fake steak. It has the texture and appearance of a real cut of beef, but it was made from peas, seaweed, and beetroot juice.
Britney Spears looking to take the art world by storm.
Yeah, she's set to kick off her first solo art show this weekend in France. The exhibit is titled, Sometimes You Just Gotta Play.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and a World War II veteran in California has just one wish. Major Bill White says he wants as many people as possible, including complete strangers, to send him a card.
A Maryland woman was walking through the airport when she saw the letter on the floor.
So here's some of Emma's note to her dad. She said, although right now I'm sort of small like you, I want to be brave and smart because I love you, Daddy, with all my heart.
Oh, the woman who found the letter has now started the hashtag Find Emma's Dad.
What do you think about that fake meat?
No, it's not. Don't call it steak. It's not steak. It's fake.
It's fake steak.
It's fake steak, so don't call it steak.
What do we call it?
So something else. It's just like a veggie burger. It's not a burger. It's vegetables. It's not meat.
Oh, it's not meat.
So don't call it a burger.
Okay.
Because a burger signifies a hamburger with
According to Oriana, it's too early for the soapbox.
But don't call it meat. It's not steak. It's fake something.
Justin,
You asked. I'm just telling you.
would you like to jump in on this?
You got them all riled up, Leslie.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
Let's go outside with live cam. You see some of the fog out there right now. The fog is back. The drizzle is back. We're going to have another sort of wet go of it, at least for the first half of the day. I think maybe a little bit less in the way of drizzle this afternoon, but we're still going to see some cloud cover. It's going to be pretty similar to yesterday. 63 degrees right now, 63 in Gonzales, 54 Rock Springs, 61 right now in Del Rio. Dew Point is at 62. We've got calm winds. It's humid out there. And let's take a look at the visibility. Better than yesterday at this time, at least. We're at about a mile at the airport, about half a mile at Randolph, quarter of a mile in New Braunfels. The higher visibility, the better situation is off to the west. Castroville, Hondo, Port SA, all doing okay at this point, but there is a dense fog advisory that's going to go until 10 a.m. this morning, so about another hour or so. Here's some great news. Mountain Cedar actually dropped into the moderate category today. It's at 380. Mold is low. All this moisture, I think, is sort of helping the situation there with Mountain Cedar at least. 71 degrees by 2 o'clock. We could see a few peaks of sun this afternoon. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but temperatures will be warm. 73. We've got another day of this tomorrow, then some decent rain chances Thursday and Friday. We're going to talk about that and look ahead to your weekend coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys?
All right, Justin, let's look outside. This is I-10 at 1604. You can see traffic's moving just pretty slow because of the fog and those wet roads out there. It doesn't look like there's any accident, just everybody taking their time.
Well, top stories we're following for you today. Visitors at the Rim, they find more traffic issues than usual in the area over the next month.
That's because San Antonio's Transportation and Capital Improvements will be working to replace the street pavers at an intersection that's within the shopping center. The work will be done on La Cantera Parkway between the I-10 Access Road and Vance Jackson Road. Now, the project starts tomorrow and is expected to continue through February 15th.
A spokesperson with TCI says all businesses within the Rim will still be accessible during the project. You can find information on this project under the traffic section of ksat.com.
So do you have any questions about the upcoming census? We want to help you find the answers.
Well, this afternoon, Erica Hernandez will be chatting with the Census Bureau representative about the importance of the census and what people can expect. The Q&A will be live streamed on ksat.com at 3 o'clock this afternoon. A school bus nearly reaching the tracks when a train comes hauling through, and a disturbing video involving a toddler vaping.
But we start with our headlines with the latest in Washington. Max Massey now joins us in studio. So, Max, what's on the docket today in D.C.?
Hi, Max.
Like they don't have enough going on.
Good morning, guys. They have a lot going on. So the impeachment process continuing today. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set to meet with House Democrats. Pelosi said to talk about how to proceed in the impeachment of President Donald Trump, and she could announce who's going to serve as impeachment managers as early as later this morning. The managers essentially acting as prosecutors in the Senate trial, and so a vote to approve the managers and send those articles of impeachment to the Senate could take place as early as tomorrow. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he plans to move quickly on a trial once he receives those articles from the House. Now to the Philippines, where people there are bracing for a potentially massive eruption of one of its most active volcanoes. So take a look at these. Satellite images showing the volcano as it has been spewing steam and ash high into the air, since Sunday. And officials have recorded, get this, more than 200 earthquakes in the area. They say more activity still expected, so the volcano's thick, dark ash raining down on nearby towns, turning everything gray. Streams of lava were seen gushing out earlier yesterday, and experts fear that they could spill into neighborhoods. A state of emergency has already been declared in one province, and everyone living within a 17-kilometer radius of the volcano, they've already been told to evacuate. And a disturbing video we have today. A small child puts what appears to be a vape pen in their mouth at least twice and begins coughing. That child falls down, seemingly beginning to cry. It's a 20-second video sparking massive outrage on social media. Now, we've blurred out the faces of those involved, all of which appear to be minors. The state police in Pennsylvania now filing charges against 2 teenage girls. They allowed the 2-year-old boy to inhale from that vaping device while they were babysitting him. Investigators say it was an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old girl. They recorded the incident, posted it on Snapchat. State police in Indiana County say that the child is just 2 years old and it is now a criminal investigation. They are looking into the video, and right now charges pending against those 2 teens. And a scary video out of California, not meant for the faint of heart. Take a look. A school bus in California coming dangerously close to a freight train that's speeding by, so close that the crossing arm came down onto the bus rolling just within inches of the tracks. That train narrowly missing the bus, the driver, and the student that were inside.
They should definitely be more alert when it comes to like railroad crossings, because at the time they had stopped, looked both ways, you know, and then were going to proceed forward. And then they actually reversed and were lucky enough that the train missed them.
And in the aftermath, the school wouldn't say anything about the student or the driver inside. All they would say is that no one was injured.
That could have been a potential disaster.
Yeah, that is really scary
Wow.
to see. Glad that no one was hurt in
It's
that.
terrifying. I do want to get back to the fake steak.
Okay.
I've never seen you more passionate about anything.
Really? Have you seen him talk about the Spurs and the defense? And
That's completely different. than
So
fake steak.
not about the Beyond Burger or the Impossible Burger.
No.
well,
If
to
it's
totally
not-
change the subject on both of you, I'm proud of you both for wearing purple ties today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. LSU
Well, that's
Tigers.
not what for it.
Yes.
Mike did it too.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's why you wore it.
It's the purple kind of day.
No, I just pulled it out of the
See, I'm just trying to get him off the subject of the meat.
Of the fake steak?
Yeah.
The fake steak.
If you're going to go to all that trouble to come up with fake steak, at least come up with a different name. Don't call it steak.
This is what
Hey,
I wanted.
look.
Okay, look, football.
Hey! See all around San Antonio. Coming up later in a newscast, why one San Antonio councilman says the issue of panhandling may be worse than people realize. It's part of our leading essay series.
And Tesla shares hitting a new high, and Visa paying good money for a startup tech company. Details after the break in your tech and business briefing from Cheddar.
Let's take a look at the stock market. Actually, we don't have the stock market right now, but we'll let you know when we do.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar. Visa is shelling out $5.3 billion for the fintech startup Plaid. Now, Plaid's application interface software lets people connect their bank accounts to different apps. The Silicon Valley startup raised about $250 million in their latest round of funding, valuing the company at $2.7 billion. Meanwhile, shares of Tesla hit new highs yesterday, spiking nearly 10% by the close. The stock blew past the $500 mark to close at $524.86. This comes as Oppenheimer is raising their price target on the stock from $385 to $612. That price target represents a 20% upside just based on Friday's closing. And annual global PC shipments are rising 2.7% year over year in 2019, representing the first annual gain since 2011. Now, most of that growth was driven by businesses who are making the mandatory transition to Windows 10. Apple's desktop and notebook sales noticeably dropped 5.3% year over year in Q4, despite impressive market growth. And that's your Cheddar Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Nasty out there.
It's nasty.
And it's going to stick around for days?
Well, So yesterday the drizzle stuck around for a while. I think today probably ends maybe a little earlier. But yes, it's going to be cloudy, sort of damp today, tomorrow. And then Thursday and Friday, it's actual showers and maybe some thunderstorms. It's not until Saturday that we see significant sun.
Okie dokie pokey.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to play out. Let's take a look at the time lapse here. And you see the fog this morning and the wet roads. The commute wasn't so fun. 63 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 62. And so when you get the temperature and dew point close together, there you go. You got your fog, calm winds as well. Visibility is down to about a mile at the airport. 3/4 of a mile at Randolph, a mile at Stinson, 1/4 of a mile in New Braunfels. It does clear up some as you go west. So some better visibility out towards Castroville and Hondo. But there is a dense fog advisory in effect. That goes until 10 a.m. this morning, so about another 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so. And visibility is still down. New Braunfels to Gonzales, down to about 1/4 of a mile as we showed you there. But not so bad out west of I-35. Things are a little bit better than they were yesterday. Looking at the satellite picture, yeah, you can see all the clouds. There actually may be some breaks in those clouds today, though. I would not be surprised to see that. And if we do, temperatures will shoot up. We're already thinking 70s today, but if you see a little bit of sun, it may jump up to the mid to even upper 70s in some cases. 60 right now, Seguin, 63 Gonzales, 64 Kennedy, 59 in Uvalde. And a little closer look here at Bexar County. 60s for the most part, 63 over there at Port SA, 61 right now at Stinson. And here's the Doppler radar. We've got showers and even a couple thunderstorms showing up again right along the coast. But this is the corridor where most of this activity is going to stay. I don't think we're going to get any significant rain in San Antonio, at least not today. But what we are watching is this next system. Here's our next front. I put the question mark there because on Thursday, this front tries to move in. It may get to about San Antonio before this thing stalls out. But depending on where it sits and where it stalls, temperatures are going to be very tricky on Thursday. It could be pretty cold in the hill country and be pretty warm to the south of San Antonio. So Thursday is going to be sort of an interesting day. We're already getting that differential across the state right now. It's 35 in Amarillo. You got 60s and 70s, though, on the coast, and a lot of that has to do with moisture. We've got deep moisture with dew points in the 70s along the coast, and then you've got desert dry air out west. So as we look forward in time here with the Futurecast, a lot of clouds today and then quite a bit of cloud cover tomorrow. We start off with some drizzle. Here comes that front. And so by Thursday, the front is probably stalling out somewhere here around San Antonio. But I think with the front in place, we've got moisture, we've got some disturbances rolling in. We're going to see some pretty decent chances for rain Thursday. We could even see a thunderstorm. And again, temperatures are going to be kind of hard to figure out on Thursday, but right now I think it will be a little bit cooler here in San Antonio. 73 degrees, some fog drizzle today, and then tomorrow 77. 60% chance of rain, 65 on Thursday. We have lower temperatures a little bit. And then Friday, still some good chances of rain. Could see some thunderstorms on Friday too. It does clear out some Saturday before clouds fill back in. And for MLK Day, we're talking pretty chilly numbers here. 48 degrees cloudy, more chances of rain.
Wow. But we need rain, so we can't really complain about that.
We do. We've moved into more of an active pattern, which is good.
Thanks.
Yep.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9, we've got a new college football national champion this morning. The LSU Tigers take it home the trophy last night. We've been talking a little bit about that. Max and RJ are coming back in just a few minutes. They'll dive into the details, how LSU is. Leslie can attest to this. The party's probably still going on down there in the Bayou. LSU wins the national championship.
How perfect that it was in New Orleans. I mean, really, the French Quarter was a rocking place last night. RJ and Max will join us to talk about that. I only got to stay up for the very beginning of the game, and I was a little worried.
Yeah.
And then I woke up several times checking my phone, and then this morning I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah,
it got out of hand. The first quarter was really competitive. David, you said it the best. It was really competitive until it wasn't.
Yeah,
what was it?
Yeah, I think LSU was just a team of destiny, really. I mean, from the start of the season to now to the end here, they played great throughout. They were definitely the most dominant team. Won at Texas, won at Alabama, beat Georgia, beat Clemson. So there was definitely no doubt. And we were talking about the celebration down there. They kind of knew this was coming because they gave their students 2 days off ahead of time.
Very smart.
They had already canceled classes. They knew that no one was going to be on campus.
And there's the guy of the night, guy of the season, Joe Burrow, just doing it all. Heisman winner, 6 total touchdowns, 5 in the air, that rushing touchdown right there. And there was one play in the first quarter. It ended up being offset because of penalties, but he throws 2 defenders off and just chucks it downfield. It got called back. But that was probably one of the sole highlights of the first quarter, and it got called back. And it was at that moment where I was like, that just looked beautiful.
Well, they were down like 17-10, and I think he said after the game that it just took him a while to figure things out. But once he figured things out, that was it.
Yeah, just too much talent for LSU, considering they were playing against a really good Clemson team. I thought it was interesting, Coach Ed Orgeron, his first national championship, and after the game, he talked about sort of the journey here. He even mentioned Texas in there, so he even got another dig into Texas. He said that.
Wait a minute.
I know. Okay, so he said that the season for them, Coach O right there, turned around when they made that 3rd and 17 in Austin in what was still like a very close game. Yeah, so he still took an opportunity to take a shot at the Longhorns after they had just won this national championship. So,
but this is not the last time we're going to hear of Joe Burrow. Heisman winner, probably first number 1 overall pick. Welcome
Has
to
he ever been to Cincinnati?
I know. That's what
he's from Ohio.
He's from Ohio.
Yeah,
he's from Ohio.
He's going home.
He's going home.
Good luck. Yeah, going from LSU to the Cincinnati Bengals.
He's from Ohio doesn't mean he met in
That's a
Cincinnati.
big difference.
That's a pretty big difference. Yeah. So were you a little torn, Leslie, watching this game?
No, the only time I go against LSU is when they are playing the Longhorns because, of course, my daughter is a graduate.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, LSU's part of my blood.
There
I
you
lived
go.
in Baton Rouge for a while. My brother just loves them. I mean, he's everything LSU. So.
Like Coach O said yesterday, go Tigers.
Go Tigers, Mel fan. And they did a good job. They brought that championship home, sure.
Whoa, there you go.
That's good.
That was pretty good.
That was really great.
A couple of quick notes. UTSA actually starts the season next year at LSU, and Texas will play at LSU also next season.
I tweeted out, you have to beat the best to be the best.
There you go, UTSA.
There you go, UTSA.
Well, and then A&M plays them the last game.
A&M plays them.
He's already looked up the schedule next year.
How's it looking, Justin?
Yeah.
Go Aggies.
The SEC West is ours.
Already.
Okay.
Joe Burrow
All
goes
right.
to the draft, and Justin says that they got it in the bag.
Down the gauntlet already. We just got.
All right, moving on here. The other big story, of course, of the sports world, baseball. The Astros, the hammer was brought down on manager A.J. Hinch and the general manager of the Astros for that whole sign stealing controversy. So, from my understanding, sign stealing is kind of one of those unwritten, kind of accepted things, but not when video technology comes into play, and the Astros are basically really kind of crossing the line.
It was the new high-tech video that you could actually see from the stadium, from the stands, and they used that to relay, and then in just the most egregious fashion, with taking a bat and hitting the trash can.
That was
And how did nobody figure that out? Okay, why is he hitting the trash can all the time?
Exactly, everyone.
Hanging
And
on
why
the
is it
trash
right
can.
when the guy is about to start swinging?
They were saying there's plausible deniability. I'm like, anyone within 10 feet of there should know what was happening.
Watch and see if the Major League Baseball doesn't do something about those outfield cameras that you can zoom right in on the catcher and get the signs. And that's what they were doing. They were just taking the camera shot and using it in their
and just feeding it back into the dugout. So,
figuring it all out.
So Alex Cora, who's the manager of the Red Sox, they won the 2018 World Series. He was kind of the mastermind behind all of this. So we will wait to see if he gets any sort of suspension.
He
was in Houston. He was part of their coaching staff.
And then he kind of took this.
To the next place.
Man.
Yeah. So.
Thank you guys so much. Always fun. Lots more ahead on GMSA at 9.
6 Democratic presidential candidates getting ready for the first debate of the year. CNN's Camilla Bernal will be live from Iowa with a preview of what to expect tonight.
And you probably heard us talk about our new series titled Leading SA. Quite a bit here on GMSA at 9. Well, how did the idea for the series come to be? Max is going to come back for a debrief coming up next. Welcome back. Your time now 9:30. Infrastructure, traffic, the local economy, and the vision of the future of the Alamo City. They're all topics we do stories about and the viewers have questions about.
Leading SA is a new segment here at KSAT 12 where we hear from the leaders of the city about those issues and in and around San Antonio. And what's next?
And Max.
Find out.
Yeah, Max Massey joins us now to talk more about it. I love this series. How did you come up with this?
So we were kind of sitting around, and it was, whenever you talk to someone that's not from San Antonio, it's always that question like, hey, I hear San Antonio is growing so fast. Like, oh, I just heard a new business was coming in. Or like, oh, I saw something on Instagram. There's a great new food place. And it got me thinking, you know, we do all of these stories, like these little stories that kind of put everything in like a microcosm of the huge growth that we're seeing.
Right.
Why not just sit down with some of the leaders who are trying to prepare for that next stage of San Antonio?
So instead of while it's happening, looking into how they're planning for all of this.
Exactly. But while it's happening, while we're seeing this growth, we're also seeing a lot of problems. I mean, we saw in the last election cycle, you know, a lot of people coming out with things that are bothering them in their community. So instead of waiting for the next election cycle, why not attack those problems now and address those issues while they're happening instead of waiting for another election?
So you started this series going right to the top, went right to the mayor, Mayor Nuremberg. So what were some of your takeaways when you interviewed him for what, about 40 minutes, right?
For about 40 minutes. It was a lot more extensive than I thought he was going to be available for. I was waiting for, because his aide was in the room with him, and I was waiting for him to walk over and say, all right, that's it, we got to go. And they just kept letting me ask questions, and it was fantastic. Optimism. I mean, it was, because we know last decade of downtown, you know, refurbishing, revitalizing. And I said, you know, we're now in 2020. We had the SA 2020 plan, which we should expect a full report later in this year. But I said, you know, we just got out of the decade of downtown. What's next? And he said the era of mobility, not only transportation-wise in and around the city. Not sure if you've been in and around the city, but it can get pretty chaotic, especially during rush hour.
All the time it is. Now, I know you've done several segments of this on television, but there were other components as well. People can find other ways to view this.
Absolutely. So like I said, we can't, it was 40 minutes for the interview, so we can't just post that right on air because you know, we have other things to talk about. But shout out to Alyssa Medina and Luis, my photographer, who did a phenomenal job. We put that 40-minute interview online, but we added, there it is right there. That was a shoot with Alyssa, and we kind of went around the city. We did like little infographics, and we linked to several stories that we've done before. You know, like I said, we've done those stories, like the little tidbits. So we were talking about the larger scale issues, and then we link and we have information from the previous stories.
You started with the mayor. Obviously, city council leaders are the leaders of the city, but there's also people who aren't involved in city government that lead. Are you going to expand out and find out businesses and leadership in that direction?
Absolutely. Obviously, city council plays a huge part in what's going on in the city and the future of San Antonio, but there's so much more. I mean, when we're talking about transportation, we want to talk to the head of VIA, SAWS, you know, obviously local industries here that provide so much of the economic support and those jobs and everything coming in here. So we have big plans. Jared, one of our producers, I just sat down with him. We have about a 20-person list outside of City Council.
So what's next?
Next, we already shot the second interview that is happening this week. You might see some snippets of that. We have District 8 Councilman Manny Plias, and we talk about a lot. We talk about a variety of issues. Now, one that jumped out to me, the problem of panhandling in the rim area. So if you pull off the highway at the I-10, well, there's usually at least one person going car to car asking for money. But the councilman tells me that the issue is much worse than that. So here's a tidbit of what we discussed.
Panhandling is a symptom of an increasing homelessness problem in San Antonio.
But Councilman Plias says panhandlers like these are not necessarily homeless, and they're not just asking for money.
You're now seeing them walking around shopping centers, you know, up to hanging out and loitering in front of businesses, walking through neighborhoods. We're seeing a different flavor of property crimes, a lot of mailbox break-ins. We're seeing a lot of homeless encampments on the north side.
Part of the problem is that San Antonians have big hearts. We may roll down our windows and give out money, and as well-intentioned as this is, our funds may be going to bad places.
SAPD tells us that almost all of it is being used for purchase of opioid drugs. And so I don't think our compassionate San Antonians want to enable drug dealers to, you know, continue taking advantage of people.
So instead, the councilman's asking you to send your donations to places that can help clean up the streets. Places like Haven for Hope, Salvation Army, Goodwill, and Battered Women's Shelter.
Instead of rolling your window down, just simply take your phone out and text the word SA Gives to 41444, and instantly you can donate that 25 cents or that $1. And so, like I said, this is just a fraction about what we talked about. We also discussed gun violence, the future of affordable housing on the north side inside his district, that Rim, La Cantera area, and then managing natural green spaces. We are seeing a lot of development, a lot of businesses, a lot of new apartment buildings, but there's also beautiful natural areas, especially outside the direct center of the city. And so protecting those areas as we're continuing to expand. And speaking of expansion, UTSA. I mean, that rapid growth of the university as a major research institution, cybersecurity, cyber technology, and just what the future of education here in San Antonio is.
We've done a lot of stories on that on their cyber department.
Real quick, when will this one run, and where can our folks see it first?
So there's going to be continuous fragments of the interview sprinkled out throughout newscasts throughout the week, and then Sunday is the more long-form piece, usually about 2 to 3 minutes long, and it's just kind of like an overall preview, like a little clip of all of the topics. We talked for a while again, and then Alyssa, me, and Luis, we're going to be working on that full interview and the extensive version that you can check out on ksat.com.
You got politicians to talk for a while?
For a while.
Not surprising at all. Thanks, Max. Great job. Very interesting stuff. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Talk about your forecast. I don't think we're going to see any sunshine today.
If we do, Leslie, it's going to be much later this afternoon. Right now, it's certainly, you wouldn't think that because we've got the low-hanging clouds. The fog is back, the drizzle is there. Not a pretty sight there on live cam. I do want to show you, though, a picture on our KSAT Connect. This is a great shot. Got the dog out getting some exercise this morning. This was out in Bernie. That's supposed to be a golf course, though, behind him. Kind of hard to tell with all the fog that is in place right now. Visibility down to about a half a mile at the airport, 3/4 of a mile at Randolph. So it's really sort of the eastern half of Bexar County right now that is dealing with the thicker fog. But a dense fog advisory is in effect for the entire area for another 20 minutes or so. We should see visibility start to improve. 73 here in San Antonio today, but we'll see 70s on the map, maybe a couple of 80s, depending on whether or not we see some sun down there to the south and west, and a few peaks of sun are possible. So the forecast, again, 73 degrees, 71 by 6 o'clock, and we'll see some warm temperatures again tomorrow, too, before a little bit of a cool down on Thursday and some good rain chances. We'll detail that forecast coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys?
You could tell the dog was at a golf course. You're just in the rough. Thank you. That was good.
Oh, there's Lieutenant Callahan. No problems to report right now, but remember, the roads are a little bit damp. All right, you told me something. I'm very impressed with you, Mr. Sears. Ooh. You decided to start getting in shape.
Trying to, yeah.
You have a trainer. You've cleaned up your eating habits. You've lost how much?
20 pounds.
That's congratulations. That's awesome. So you're working out, you're getting in shape. What if you could do all of that by just taking a pill?
And sit on the couch?
And sit on the couch. All the benefits of exercise, just take a pill.
Bring it on.
Really?
Bring it on.
But I like exercising. Doesn't it make you feel good when it's done? You're like, no. Not even a little bit. No.
Have you hung out with my trainer?
Well,
and me?
No, but I heard she's going to teach you to box. You're going to box with me.
Yeah, we're going to do some boxing with you one day. That's my goal.
Well, apparently scientists have discovered a protein that mimics the effects of working out. This is the University of Michigan. They say a naturally occurring protein called sestrin appears to mimic the effects of exercise on both flies and mice in experiments.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. But first off, it says, for instance, sestrin could conceivably help individuals unable to work out due to old age, health problems, and it'll help them maintain their muscles.
Because they said they'd previously observed sestrin accumulates in muscles following exercise. So they wanted to investigate further the connection to exercise. So they did an experiment, first of all, using flies. Okay. So this is how it goes. They designed, in their own words, a fly treadmill, which makes him nuts. It makes him nuts. In a group of flies, they were trained for 3 weeks to climb up and out of a test tube. All right? Trained. Some of the flies were normal. Others had specifically been bred the lack of the ability to make sestrin. So you have just normal flies, and when they would work hard, sestrin would be released in their muscles, and you had some that could not make sestrin. The flies without sestrin did not improve. Even though they exercised, they showed no benefits whatsoever, and they found by giving flies sestrin, they performed incredibly well and reached their peak benefit, and exercise didn't make it better. So basically, it does all the benefits of exercise without having to exercise.
A fly treadmill, seriously? You're going to train flies to get on the treadmill? Can you really train a fly? Come on.
They just,
Come
apparently.
on.
That's, yeah.
Come on. Sit, fly, sit.
I don't think that's what they're talking about. Okay, it's 9:40 now. It's 64 degrees outside. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Go fly. The presidential primaries are just around the corner, and tonight the top 6 Democratic candidates are facing off in the last debate before people actually start casting votes. How U.S. tensions with Iran could impact tonight's debate. We hear from CNN's Camilla Bernal coming up live after the break. It is debate day. 6 Democratic candidates for president gather on the same stage for the last debate before the first round of votes are cast.
CNN's Camilla Bernal is live from Des Moines, Iowa with more. Good morning.
Good morning, David, Leslie. We are almost ready for that debate night. We're about 10 hours away, and everything here at Drake University is ready. Of course, we'll be looking out for those standout moments, for the clashes, and even for those mistakes. The candidates are going to have to be very careful because from now on, everything will translate into votes.
The first Democratic debate of the year.
In Iowa, especially in Iowa.
In the first state to decide.
Hello, Mason City!
The state has a good track record in predicting the Democratic nominee, and the candidates know it. They will all try to make their case to Iowans and the nation as to why they can beat Donald Trump.
8 years of Donald Trump will change the character of this country.
Former Vice President Joe Biden and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will stand at center stage.
Our campaign is about, winning here in Iowa, winning the Democratic nomination.
Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts will be to the left of Biden.
We need someone every Democrat can get behind.
And former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg will be to the right of Sanders.
And now I know that it's decision time.
Businessman Tom Steyer and Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota at the ends of the stage, but both fighting to stand out.
I'm not kidding. I love this so much.
You know when the Super Bowl is?
Yeah.
It's the night before the Iowa caucuses.
All 6 qualifying candidates likely giving their all on Tuesday, and all hoping to win Iowa, making the debate even more crucial.
And we're just 20 days from these Iowa caucuses, and polls here show that a majority of voters have not even made a final decision. They don't have their final choice. So it makes this debate even more important, and it really makes this debate the place where candidates will come and make their closing arguments to the voters before they move on in 3 weeks to New Hampshire. David, Leslie.
Come on, a couple of questions for you. First off, do you expect the tensions with Iran and, of course, the impeachment talk to play a big role in tonight's debate?
That's right. These are 2 things that are going to be center stage. Foreign policy has not necessarily been at the center of the last debates that we've had in last year in 2019. But this year, because of the events that we've had over the last 10 or so days, we do expect the Iran relationship to come up tonight. Not only that relationship and trying to have solutions or sort of have an explanation from these candidates as to how to keep Iran away from nuclear weapons is going to be center stage, but also the relationship with Iraq, and that's because of the killing of Soleimani in Iraqi territory and because they are an ally. So that's another one of those foreign policy questions that will likely come up during this debate stage. And then when we talk about impeachment, that is also something that's going to come up because it is about the electability, it's about who can beat Donald Trump. And then there's also something very interesting about this whole impeachment moving forward, and it is the fact that a lot of the senators are likely going to have to be in D.C. and not in Iowa in the coming weeks. If we do see a Senate trial, people like Bernie Sanders, like Elizabeth Warren, and like Amy Klobuchar will be stuck in D.C. instead of being in Iowa, where they would much rather like to be. But that brings this debate into a very different context, and it makes it even more important.
Camilla, real quick, I know Cory Booker was the latest to announce that he's suspending his campaign, but there are still some candidates in the running who will not be on that stage tonight. Any of them still have a shot?
Well, look, there are 12 people right now after Cory Booker dropping out that are running for president, and then 6 that did not make the debate stage. So they're polling in the lower numbers, which is going to make their campaigns a lot difficult. It is going to be hard for them to move forward, but they still have a shot. And specifically, we're looking into these billionaires because of the fact that they're spending so much money into these campaigns. People like Tom Steyer, who made the debate stage last minute, the last day, but he is on the debate stage, but is spending a lot of money. And then people like Mike Bloomberg, who is not on the debate stage, but has already said he is going to spend at least $1 billion of his own money. So it will be interesting to see if the money goes a long way for these candidates to remain contenders, to remain in the field. And then we'll see what happens after this debate as well, to see who can really advance into 2020 and if they really do have a shot at this.
Camilla, thank you very much for joining us this morning and bringing some insight as we get ready for that debate tonight. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. So your job for the next few days is to just watch all this yuckiness.
Navigate through the fog.
Good luck with that.
Nicely said.
I don't know. Yeah, the fog is a big issue. Yesterday is today. Again, it'll probably be that way tomorrow, too. Real quick, though, before we talk about the fog, you know I love history. Let's jump into a little bit of history. This day in weather history, we had the greatest 24-hour temperature change ever on Earth, at least in recorded history. Loma, Montana started out the day at -54. They had snow on the ground. This was back in 1972, by the way. Later that day, they warmed to 49. 103-degree temperature change in 24 hours there in Loma, Montana back in 1972, thanks to some winds coming off the Rocky Mountains there. Pretty impressive. We see some pretty big temperature changes here around Texas. Not like that, though. Fog, again, still an issue this morning. About half a mile visibility in San Antonio, mile visibility in Randolph, 2 miles Stinson. We're seeing a little bit of improvement there. But as you get north and east of town, the fog's still pretty thick. Dense fog advisory is going to go here for another 10 minutes. Yesterday, they extended it. It's possible that the Weather Service, fine folks over there, may extend it a little bit longer if the fog sticks around. But the bottom line is we are going to see some of those lowered visibilities, especially north and east of town. Notice on visible satellite picture, we are seeing some breaks out here out to the west. So where you do see some sun, it is going to warm up quite a bit quicker. Places like Lakey, you may be seeing a little bit of sun here soon. But that is not the case here in San Antonio. Still socked in here. 64 degrees. At the airport, 64 Port SA, 62 at Stinson, and 64 at Randolph. Calm winds across the board. And temperatures in the 50s for Kerrville and Bandera, 62 in New Braunfels, 62 right now in Floresville. And there are some returns on the radar, mainly out around Houston. We're not seeing much here. It's just that light drizzle that doesn't really show up on radar. Our next front is situated up there across the Rocky Mountains. That heads our way on Thursday, and there's a big question here, and that's why we had question mark with that front. How far south does that front make it? And that's going to have a huge bearing on temperatures. We do know that it'll get close enough on Thursday that it brings our rain chances up. And right now we've upped the rain chances to about a 60% shot. But the question will be where it sets up, because we'll get some pretty colder temperatures to the north, and then the warmer stuff to the south. San Antonio may be right on that dividing line. Forecast for today, 73 degrees. Some morning fog and drizzle. The drizzle should let up as we get into the afternoon. 77 tomorrow. Same story. 60% chance of rain Thursday, 60% chance on Friday, and then a little bit cooler going into the weekend, and much cooler as we go into next week. We'll be right back.
Fly me to the moon.
So if you had $2 billion, would you buy a seat on a spaceship to the moon?
No, I don't want to go to the moon. I want to watch other people go to the moon.
Well,
but how would you like to marry a billionaire and go to the moon with him?
Say, what if somebody asked you to go to the moon with them?
Well, a lonely Japanese billionaire is seeking a life partner to accompany him on his upcoming trip to the moon. His name is Yusaka Miyazawa, and he said he's looking for love. He wants a female partner to go to the moon with him.
And you I guess you apply on his website? Is that how that works?
Must be single.
Yeah.
A woman over 20. You don't qualify, David. Nope. And someone who is interested in going into space and able to participate in the preparation for it and wishes for world peace. He wants a bright personality, and he wants to enjoy life to the fullest. Application deadline is January 17th.
I'm sure I've been able to acquire my share of money, social status, and fame along the way, but now I'm restarting my life. He's 44, by the way.
Good luck to the billionaire. Thanks for being with us.